In this video, we are going to see the next component after multi-select drop-down. It is a radio button. So you guys know what is radio button. So you might have used these things in the form, right? So yeah, we'll just see how to use that in radio in Unqork. So we can just use this radio button which is present inside this primary field. So I can just drag and drop this radio button here. And again, the view is pretty similar to what we saw for the other components, which is multi-select drop down and the other components as well. So here again, just like a property ID, we need to give the property ID. So I'm just giving the property ID as radio button, and let me just copy this and use this as label button as well, label text as well. And here as of now we can ignore this. So we can just put here the values. So I can put the value as maybe value 1. So here it is a value 2, and then we have value 3. So we have put these three values, and if I just save and close, so we will go into the details of other options which are available. But just to get started, how the radio button is and how it looks, so it is pretty simple. Just drag and drop the radio button, put the values that we want, and save this. So if we preview this, those that radio button would be visible. So pretty simple, like no major logic or something thinking is required, right? Just a readily available component is there and we can use. So here if we go more details, if we go into more details inside this, so here we have uh, other things as well. So okay, so here we have this read only view. So if we check this, so we'll only get the read only view for this radio button. So when this is used, right, let's suppose we have a radio button on our page or on our form, but we are getting some values from any integration, right? So if those values from getting from the integration are filled, or like if you want to fill that value automatically from the integration, then we can use this option as read only view. So how it looks in the read only view, so as we don't have any integration, so it would be like visible as none. But let's imagine that radio button field is there and we are filling or pre-filling that value from some of the integration which we have integrated. So that value we can put over here. So is, I mean, from the user perspective, he can't select anything, but that value would be visible here. So that is why it says read only, right? So this option is there. So I think, yeah, I have used, I think, one more drop down we have on the top. Sorry, one more radio button I have used, so that is why we are getting that. Okay, so here we have this option. Okay, so then we have disable user input. So I think I have explained already in the drop down menu, but again those are pretty similar. So if we use this option which is disable user input, then in that case whatever the options which are available for this radio button as a values, so those would be available, but the user won't be able to select anything. So basically we have disabled all those things. And again, like again, this is pretty simple. It's like hiding the field. So if you want to hide the radio button, we can toggle on this hide button. So it's pretty simple. And here we have a horizontal layout. So if I toggle on this, so yeah, again, pretty self-explanatory. So instead of showing those options one by one vertically, we are just horizontally showing that, and the same would reflect on the UI also. Yeah, nothing fancy, pretty straightforward. and and again, like data reference key, we'll see, I will be posting a completely separate video for that, which would be like talking about the data reference key. So this thing would be applicable for drop downs, radio box, checkbox, I mean radio buttons, checkboxes. So all those things would be covered inside this data reference key. But yeah, as of now we are just going through the components, so this is what available. And again, here we have the trigger option. So if we want to trigger any certain logic based on clicking on the radio button, then we can put that property ID here, so that we are going to see in the further tutorials. And here again in the form, if we want to make this as a mandatory field, then we can toggle on this button to set it as mandatory. And if we want to display our customized message, if that uh, radio button is not checked or not selected, then we can put our customize message here. And also in the advanced we have this option, so if you want to style this particular radio button according to our own style, then we can create a class. I will see that in the further videos, but that class we need to mention here. So those style, I mean classes or styles whichever we have put inside that class would be applicable to this radio button. So for that this option is available. And then here we have this required unique submission data. So if we toggle on this, so let's suppose I mean the later videos will see that example, but yeah, just to give you a high level idea, what it would do is like, let's suppose we have selected value 1 and we have submitted the form. So that is stored into the submission. So again, let's suppose the next submission is there and we are again selecting this value 1. So we won't be able to do it because for a previous submission we have already selected value 1, and again we won't be able to select a value 1 again for the next submission. So that is why here we have like require unique submission data, which means make sure that data submitted for this field is unique and has not been submitted before. So this is what it will do. And again, like look and feel is pretty similar to the other components we have seen. So yeah, you can just try to explore this thing from your end. Again, if you want to go to the documentation, here is that option available which can directly point you to the radio button documentation. You can go through in detail if you want, but yeah, just to give you a highlight about it, this is what the drop down, oh, sorry, this is what the radio button is. Okay, I think we will see in the next tutorial the drop down and the number. So see you in the next video, guys. Thank you.